Welcome in. Good evening. Welcome to the Reset Room. My name is Rhonda. Welcome in. This is where we talk about all things life and career resets. And we are talking about creating digital products tonight. Our lesson tonight is exactly on that. It's going through all of the steps on how to create those digital products. The beauty of that is taking some knowledge and information that you already have in your head, something that people always come to you for and ask you about, packaging that information into an offering that solves a problem and that provides some form of transformation on the other side. You build it once and you sell it over and over and over again. And that is the beauty of creating digital products and helping to generate digital wealth. So come on in. If you haven't been here before, my name is Rhonda. I'm a career reset coach. And if you're like, what is that? Help people change jobs, level up at work, get promoted and get paid. And no matter where you are or what journey you are on, we help to sort of do all of those things. You are on. There's the backup talking in the background. Yeah. Doing some of all of those things. So we've been doing a lot over the last few weeks. This is actually month 2 for me of actually going live. So in the first month, we started looking at alternative revenue streams. We've went through all sorts of promotions, interview tips, how to get paid, how to get seen, creating your brand at work, similar to being on this platform, creating your brand here. For me, being a content creator and live host is a new reset for me. This is month 2, and I'm actually in the process of revamping a little bit. So I'm probably going to do a new sort of, not introduction video, because I've been around on the platform 5 months, but a sort of introducing of a twist, I guess, on sort of the direction that I am looking to take my work here on the platform and going, and not really anything different, just really sort of an elevation of what I'm already doing. And that's for me and for others. We've been talking about that 2026 is just that, a year of elevation. And we are going to begin to work on and actually executing on some of that. So looking forward to doing that. And, I'm in this too, sort of with you all doing the exact same thing. So that excited about all of that. For me, part of that came about is I enjoy doing the content part of what I'm doing now. And I've done probably about 5 shoppable videos and enjoy sort of doing that too. And then again, not gatekeeping, but there's a lot of money to be made on the TikTok shop. And really wanted to marry all of that together, marry the career and life reset stuff with items and products that I actually use that help support that too. So I've come up with a great way to sort of marry the two, and gonna introduce that into the community and so some of my content over the next couple of days, so that when folks see a shift, they sort of get it and understand, and it's all towards elevating. TikTok is a business. I've been on this business side of TikTok for 5 months, so we are just continuing to grow, to learn, and continuing to elevate. So excited to jump in all of that. And I had actually, how I even got to this point, I had actually started a second page, which you see, I'm in the room now under my backup account. And I had originally started the page to build it to try to get to 1,000 friends in order to apply for the creator. Hey, Ben, welcome in. Thank you for your heart me. To apply for the creator pilot program in order to do shoppables. And then actually with that, started building that page and even built a community, even went live a few days on that account. Hey, how you doing, Ben? Just to sort of test out the water. I had the live button after like 2 days, I think. And so I was like, okay, let me go live over here. But then started doing some research and a lot of folks had said originally that you shouldn't do shop content on the same page with the regular content, and actually came across many creators that said that that sort of isn't necessarily true, that is sort of your preference, and that more importantly, the algorithm will catch up to you. So that was promising and great to hear, because I've spent 5 months building my community here, which, 14K friends and counting. So yeah, so I'm going to marry the two here and kind of, test how it goes and test the waters, and just look forward to doing that. Oh, my voice sounds real squeaky. Thank you, Ben, being the title gifter of those TikToks. I'm still trying to recover from this cold. It's like the little people bring us the germs and the sickness, and they go away, and we're sick for weeks. Thank you, Ben. But yeah, so actually I'm going to jump right in and get started, because last Tuesday when I was on, we were going to tackle this same subject. We started talking about all kind of things and getting into story time. And guess what, y'all? We never got to learn in the class. Hey, Love Petals, welcome in. Never got to truly talking about creating those digital products. And for me, for 2026, I have sort of named it intentional abundance. And that's sort of where my focus has been here on the platform and off, looking at all of the other things that I do too. And so other things we've been talking about is just other ways to package anything that you know and do well into an offering. And so outside of TikTok, I have my own consulting firm. Plus I still have my 9 to 5. So I go to a job every day as well, but truly trying to figure out the best ways to maximize it all. And so just doing some of that. Thank you, Ben, for sharing out the live. And I'm glad you mentioned that, because guess who didn't share out her own live? That's y'all, because I'm tired. I was trying to get a nap, and yeah, it was an epic fail. That didn't happen. Happy New Year. Oh, hey, Deshaun. Happy New Year. Oh, my gosh. Look at my voice, y'all. It's terrible, terrible, terrible. But yes, getting back to that, we've been talking about, again, how to package anything that you know into an offering. And so we're going to walk through step by step. So hopefully you got your notepads ready for today to actually take down those steps. And governance, guess what? Are you the only one in the room that did homework? Who in the chat was here on Tuesday? Just curious. If not, governance, we're not going to put you on the spot. We're just going to keep going. What we did on Tuesday, we were talking about, the starting point. Like, a lot of folks weren't sure, like, how do I even start to think about a digital product, creating a digital product? Like, where do I begin? And so the question to everyone in the chat was the same question. It was, what's one thing that people always come to you for and always ask for your help about? Could be something else. Like, what are you really great at that you could package and sell? Something that solves a problem for someone or some people, a group of folks, and provide some sort of transformation. And so begin thinking about sort of what that is, because that's really your starting point, is, the positioning and the power of what it is your offering is. And so you wanted to do two things. One, to solve a problem. And then that's sort of like the starting point. My product, my offering solves this problem. That's the starting point. And then sort of at the end, what is the transformation that someone is going to have on the other side of it? So I'll just take like my career reset course. In that course, like the starting point and the problem solvers that a lot of people that I've worked with in the past, and even currently still, particularly women, stay stuck. Like, we stay stuck or stalled in jobs that we hate, in situations that we hate, partly because, just sort of like deflated, and maybe just confidence may be a little bit shaken. And sometimes you just don't know sort of what to do. Like, what's the next best first step? And so with that, we don't move. We just sort of stay frozen in this point. So the course actually provides the roadmap for that. So that's sort of the problem. It's like giving a person that's not sure what to do or even how to do it a roadmap to do it. And so the transformation on the other end is that they move. They shift to whatever that next thing is, whether it's a new job, a different job, different situation, different city, different relationship. It can be any number of things, but the path and the route is the same. So yeah, so I'm just going to go ahead and get started. I see, oh, we have got 14 people. What? It is 14 of y'all watching from the hallway. What are y'all scared of? Come on in here. We don't bite in here. So again, starting. So we're going to start again. Starting point of creating any digital product is thinking about one, what problem is this product or your idea going to solve? Because there are going to be some steps where you're going to like be checking if your idea truly is if the digital product is the perfect fit for it. And so there'll be some questions and some things you'll want to check in to see. So thinking about, okay, what is the problem I'm trying to solve? So I'll talk through the exercise of one that I'm working on right now. So what I'm working on right now is, not sure what it's going to be called yet, but basically it's going to be sort of like a quick training guide on employee tools and resources to build skills that AI can't replace. So we've been talking a ton about AI and just how, again, we will start to see more and more of the changes in the workforce. And so, but there are some skills that this computer cannot replicate or replace. So for me, when I think about, okay, what problem is that going to solve? So the problem is that realistically, like for some people may not have jobs, a year from now, and some others jobs may shrink. If you're full-time right now, your job could potentially shrink to part-time. And so, that's sort of a reality of that. So thinking about that, that as sort of a reality for some people. So the problem is, how do we better equip people to be able to remain not necessarily employed, but remain employable and with skills that not necessarily won't prevent some sort of change or impact from the technology of AI, but maybe it puts you, instead of you being at the top of that layoff list, maybe you're, at the bottom because you now have some skills that the organization and company that you work for can use. Hey, Messy Center, welcome in. Oh, my voice, good Lord. I'm going to get over this cold at some point. Good to see you. So again, I'll walk through sort of that. And so for me, on the other side of that, the transformation is that skills building. Like skills building equates into dollars. The more skilled you are, the more money you make and can command. And so that's sort of the transformation. Okay, so let's starting with sort of the starting point. So thinking about that. Oh gosh, why is everybody back? What's the battle? The battle crew is out. Thanks, Nikki, for sharing out the live to all of America. And so, okay, so now you got your idea in your head. So now you want to think about naming it. When I think about naming digital products, think about it the same way for those of you that are content creators in the room, the same way we think about creating that hook for that content. You want it to be something that truly grabs, your customer, and so that they solve, it immediately solves the problem for them right away. Like here's an example of a good title: 30-day content calendar for creators. It's clear. It's giving you 30 days of information of content, helping you be able to flush it out. You've got something that solves your problem. You don't have to think about it right now. You've bought yourself, if you buy this product, you bought yourself some breathing room, right? So that's sort of same idea. So you want the name to definitely be catchy. Okay, Flash go here. What is, TikTok be doing the things for us? What are they? Oh, how cute. Okay, I have a flash go there of 5 ice cream cones. If you guys can help with that, I'd appreciate it. So thinking about titles. Title that's going to grab just the same way we do a hook. And it really helps to position your product. So if you're a content creator here on the platform, start easy. So if this is going to be your first digital product, start with something that can be a teaser. And so that's like something that you give away that doesn't cost, that is free, to your community, so that they can for one, what it does for you. So you get sorry y'all, I may look a little distracted, but I had a whole lot going on over here. No, I got we got our tapper going. and it's kind of doing some things on my backup. But anyway, like the benefit of having a teaser product is that one, you get to sort of introduce your style of how you deliver products and services to your community. You're giving away something free, which helps to build credibility. Like you're not gatekeeping all your information or, hard pressed for $1. And so that every bit of information that you have and share that is attached to $1. So think about creating some sort of free something. And it can be really short, 4 to 5 pages, nothing super, super long. You're going to identify a problem. You're going to present a solution, transformation on the other end. So start thinking about sort of that in terms of doing that. And then, think about sort of how you market it. For those of you on the platform, if you have more than 1,000 followers, you should have a link, or at least the ability to be able to put a link in your profile. You want to link to, sort of everything that you're doing sort of out there. Right now, on mine, I'm actually I'm not a recruiter yet for GQ. I'm working my way to become a recruiter. So I guess now I think I'm just a referral source for that. But I added that to my link. The agency is building. There's more live creators coming on the platform every day. And a lot of folks aren't really trained. So that's something that's there. So think about, how to really maximize your link with the free offering. And then of course a paid product. So you can be kind of working on both at the same time. Like if you have one idea that you're like, it's probably can't charge much for that, make that your teaser, make that your free offering. And then your larger product, that's what you want to package and put together. And it can be some of everything. The last week, I've just been going on to different people's pages and just truly clicking their links, kind of seeing what's out there. And there are digital products out there for everything. I have seen products that talked about fear. I have seen products that talked about like how to organize your home, how to declutter, how to do TikTok shop well on the platform, how to be a good content creator, grocery shopping lists, like diet plans, you name it. So anything that you can come up with or think about, you can package that into some form of an offering. So definitely don't think that any idea is sort of off limits, and definitely use our assistant Chatty to help you flesh out sort of the details of some of that. How I use Chatty is really for like brainstorming. Like if I may have one idea and then I'll say, what do you think about if I did this like this? And, they may come up with some things that I may or may not really like or may not really resonate, but it may prompt a different thought. And so I'll take that into a different direction. So definitely use the prompts that are out there. If you're content creating, hopefully you probably already do, but even for coming up with product names, like it's great to sort of like identify what it is. Hey, Chad, I'm creating this digital product that will help employees build better skills to outlive AI. Give me some sample title names. And so boom, see what you get, see what you like, what you don't, massage it to get to that finish line. So that's sort of, a next step. And then think about the audience, like who's the person, who are you selling to? Like who is your ideal target audience? And interestingly enough, when I first came on the platform, I had originally thought like I only wanted to work with women. And because of the work I've done and being in HR and just seeing how women shrink when it comes to asking for money, I thought, okay, I don't want to work with men at all. And so I had this whole thought in my head. And as it turned out, like I don't get a lot of men that come into this room, but when they do come, it just helps for engaging conversation. And also like they're more, again, I think it's just how we're wired. They're faster to act, faster to take an action, faster to implement something, faster to just sort of move forward and get things done and put plans into action. So for me, the audience is sort of people. And so I've broadened that, so a lot of my content too is not strictly woman focused anymore, but even when I'm thinking about writing products, I'm thinking about a larger audience now. So think about, again, who's your audience? And even, if you're a creator on the platform, definitely you want to go into your analytics and really analyze that, like who. And if you all, I don't know if you all have seen, it's something now called the Creator Assistant. It's in the TikTok studio. It's basically like an AI version that will analyze all of your data. I went through it yesterday. I saw a creator had some content on it, and it was so amazing. Like, it said to me, like, I've had, and this isn't like shocking or going to be like news to me, like I didn't know this, that my follower count has dipped in the last 30 days, as well as my, not views, but engagement in terms of commenting. And so that's something that I've always struggled with. Like, I would do a lot. Initially, most of my CTAs were follow me, because again, you're new on the platform, you're trying to, build your community. But I didn't have a lot of engagement, a lot of saves, likes, and even reposts, but not a lot of comments. So now more of my, CTAs are about commenting, for them to actually get in the chat. For one, once they comment, then I can do a video reply, which helps to keep the engagement going. But it told me a different time of day that I should be posting my content, which I was surprised to sort of see that. It basically gave me the window of 7 to 9 p.m., where originally I started on the platform in July. I think I really dove into analytics heavily, maybe mid-September. At that point in time, the data was showing that, like, my core community members were online between 11 a.m. and 1 p.m. in the afternoon, and then again 7 to 9 p.m. at night. And so there wasn't a distinction about even when to post. And so I think I was posting initially, if I was doing 2 a day, would do one like that 12-1 lunchtime hour, and then, one maybe 6 or 4 right before I, would want to come on live. But this data basically said 7 to 9 sort of period. That is the window to post. And really, it was interesting, like, gave even suggestions on different spins on conversations. It went through and talked about, like, my most viral posts, if you will, and like different takes I can have on that conversation to create new content. It's amazing. So definitely check it out. Again, more the power of AI. So definitely use Chatty, and definitely, if you're on the platform, definitely take a look at that. I love to share what I learned. And check that out to see how that goes. So again, thinking about your audience, your name. So work with that. Think about your audience. And then pricing of it always has to go back to transformation. The bigger the transformation, the bigger the price. And so like life changing. So I'll just talk about my career reset course. And this is, I'm not trying to sell it to you all. So there's a self-study guidebook that folks can pretty much work through the worksheets and do that I have advertised, on my link here. And that is a much lower price point than the Evergreen course that is like videos and, a whole portal. You log in and it's a whole system. Significantly greater, difference in price, because again, the value, like those videos are probably, maybe 100 hours of videos and content and just guidance, because you can talk through that and move through a lot more material than in a guidebook and in a workbooks. So again, you can still arrive at the same endpoint and you can still have some transformation, but it's going to be different based on, what is actually happening and how quickly and smooth that a person can move through, and will they have everything that they need. But I wanted to have a lower price point product to not exclude anybody. So that's something to think about too. The bigger the transformation, the bigger the price point. So keep that in mind when you're thinking about value. And this happens a lot too. I think out of fear, people will undervalue the price of a thing because they're scared no one will buy it. And I just want to caution you not to do that. The value is the value. And as they say, the price is the price. I mean, seriously though, like we've bought products, we've invested in things and have taken courses and did all of those things for ourselves. And so if I'm going to invest in myself and spend, whatever it is, $500 on a course to better myself, and for that investment, other people should do that too. And I don't know that I necessarily want someone to sort of invest in a program if they're not going to, recognize the value. So definitely don't undercut yourself, and again, make it cheap just to have more sales. Because for me, like, I believe in not volume sales. Like I talked this about like affiliate. I just started doing affiliate marketing. For me, I chose that route versus so many other routes. Like, yes, I'm still going to sell my digital products. I'm not cranking out as many original as I've done in the past, where I'm sort of spending a lot of my time now. So for me, it's like ROI. I need to get the biggest check. I'm going to say like the biggest check for the least amount of time. So for me, like I've just built a new training course for my company that I'm definitely going to package to sell to my private clients as well. I've started doing some affiliate marketing. Everybody is trying to battle today. We don't battle, y'all. Not yet. That for my company that I'm going to package, to other clients, the affiliate marketing program, I'm going to actually be pitching that off to other clients. So, for me, that's the least amount of time and effort for the biggest check. I'm still going to create digital products. There's this AI one I told you all that I am working on and thinking about another one. A lot of people have been asking about brand deals since I introduced the Creator Empire Academy to folks. And so for me, like that, so just talk about that as an investment. That program cost me $700. But for me, the value is there. So for one, there's 60 done for you digital products already in there. So if I wanted to rebrand those, package those and sell them, I can. Not really necessarily something I'm interested in, at least not right now. For me, the value was in brand deals. So like I changed my picture recently on my page. Not sure if you noticed, I did a little piece of content I changed my picture after doing some of the research and learning sort of what brands are looking for when they're, scouting talent. I mean, it's sort of like you're an actress, if you will. We're doing commercials. We're doing the commercials for the products and for the brand. So like I changed my picture, created my media kit. So for me, that is still like the biggest bang for buck. Like one piece of content, you can get anywhere from $200 to $500. I mean, so that for me is sort of the biggest bang for the buck. So that's the value in it, sort of for me. Hey, Worship Wave, welcome in. So again, thinking about sort of the value and just sort of where you want to spend your time and investment with that. So think about that in terms of pricing your product. Thank you for that ice cream and knocking out that flash goal. So thinking about that. Okay, moving on. And then building the product. And it can be, Canva is a fabulous tool. Years ago, it was old-fashioned PowerPoint is sort of how we built these courses. They were PowerPoint slides. Today is Canva. And even for my evergreen course, Canva has a really cool feature that once you create all of your presentation, you can actually record. If you're wanting to do a video, thank you, Worship Wave, if you wanted to do a video course. So like your output can be a number of ways. It can be a simple workbook that's just, pages. It can be a video series if you want that to be that, and you can host it on any number of, platforms out there. And so you sort of decide, it can be a link. It could be to like a private YouTube video that sits out on, oops, did I say that? Don't let me get in trouble, y'all. Thank you, Worship Wave. So you can think about sort of what's the best way, and how I tell folks to think about how you want the product to be built is sort of what's going to be the best way for you to communicate the impact and the transformation. So for me, I prefer talking. I prefer video over paper. And so for me creating that paper version, that guidebook, self-study guide, was to be able to still give the foundations of the program, but at a lower price point. So I didn't exclude anybody. But for me, like if we're talking about, like in my career reset program, we're talking about doing a lot of mindset work. There's a lot of heart work in that, you know. Jobs and workplaces have just taken us through. Like your confidence can be shaken. You could be replaying old negative thoughts in your head from, you know, old bosses, old colleagues, hell, even parents. I mean, there's a lot of work to do to get to a point, thank you, Worship Wave, where we're at a point where you're ready to create a plan to actually take some action. So just think about sort of what's the best way to communicate the messaging as effectively. Like when I'm thinking about like this brand deals product I'm thinking about creating, like that doesn't need to be video. Hey, Too Blessed, welcome in. That really doesn't need to be video. Like it's pretty clear. You need to create a media kit. These are the steps. This is the data that needs to be there. So that's pretty clear. The AI one, I think it may be a combination of both. Like I may do some paper and then there may be some links to videos too, where I'm truly, what just happened up there? Thank you so much, Worship Wave. Thank you so much, friend. I appreciate that. So really think about that, like what's going to be the best medium to build it, and then get into Canva. And there's so many templates. Then you just start there. There's a template section. Go there, type whatever it is you're thinking about. If it's a workbook, if it's a cheat sheet, if it's a planner, you name it, there's thousands of templates in there. Figure out your colors and just really start to creating. The next time we meet, I'm gonna log on I'm gonna do it actually on TikTok Studio on the computer, because I've been looking at that and I can actually bring up the website, and so we can actually walk through, so you can kind of see what a high-end digital product looks like in terms of dollars, because I sell that course for $777. I'm a numbers girl, you know, there's a whole lot about numbers and all of that, but anyway, that one sells for $777. And just to see the difference from this guidebook that's a paper document that sells for $77. So just so you can get to see the difference in that. But yeah, so think about that and start working through Canva. And then the next place is, once you have that thing built, like test it. So one thing that I've always done when I create a product, I'll give it out to like 3 or 4 of my, girlfriends. My granddaughter's 15. I always let her read through them as a tester. Like if a 15-year-old can read it and understand it, then you know that it's okay for the market. And this isn't about, saying how smart or whatever people are. It's just that you don't want people to have to work too hard. If they're already working on a change and trying to solve a problem, you don't want your product to become a problem. And I'll have to tell you, that was probably when I had my very first consultation on this platform with the creator, when I was just getting started. That is the first thing she said to me. She said, because, I work in HR, so I'm writing briefs and documents. I'm talking to lawyers all the time, insurance companies. And so, the language is it's professional. It's just different. And she was like, dumb it down. For the platform. So thinking about that, and you want to test it out, like to see that, okay, if your friend walked through it. And when I first created my career reset course, I had one of my very good friends has been stuck for decades. And then my cousin has also been sort of stuck, and had them to start to walk through it and to see if they were seeing and experiencing what in my head, of course, and what I know that I've operationalized and I've put in place, and other people that I've worked with. But these are 2 people who had never seen this before, never heard of it, never worked with me in that way. Yes, we're family, so we've known each other forever and friends, but never worked with each other in that way, to see that could they truly understand what they needed to do and move through it and truly realize the transformation. Ironically, neither one of them have shifted in their career. But the feedback they gave me was that, yes, this is giving me, if I'm ready and when I'm ready, this will take me, to the finish line. And so that's like proof of concept. So you may have heard that term before. People say proof of concept, proof of concept. And that's that basically it. It's testing it to see, is it successful in delivering the thing that you want it to? And once you've got that check mark, then that's your green light to put it up there to be sold. Absolutely. And there's so many ways to do that. And, if you're on this platform, using your content is a great way, and you put on your content, the whole link in bio, do your commercial. Because again, all of our content are commercials for, whatever we're here on the platform to do. And you do your soft launch, and then you do, you'll talk about it in your lives. A good way is at the end of your lives. You can say, hey, at the end of my lives, taking folks, make sure you turn on your disclosure. A lot of people I've just learned that a lot of people aren't aware about the disclosure settings. So when you're in your settings, before you go live, I turn mine on automatically all the time because I don't want to be running my mouth and then get a restriction. And so when you turn on your disclosure setting, and it's clear. It basically says you're turning on your disclosure setting, that you're acknowledging that you're going to be promoting your own products in your live. And so once you have that on, then you can say to folks, if you tap on the picture, you'll get to my profile, see my link in bio, and then you won't get a restriction for that. But a lot of people didn't know, because I always hear a lot of people saying, check my LINK and my BIO. And I was like, why are we doing all this spelling? But then I learned about the disclosure settings. So that's sort of why. But that's where you sort of soft launch and do it. So I've been talking a lot. Nikki, do you have any digital products? Just curious, anybody in the chat have any digital products that you have started thinking about? Ben, do you all do this kind of thing over there in Indonesia? Just curious. If not, governess, did you do your homework? Okay, you're still working on it. Okay, good deal. Good deal. That's a good thing. Love to hear that. That is good. Ben, do you all have digital products and work with that? Is that a big thing over there in your part of the world? Just curious. If not, governess, did you do your homework? I know you're just back to work after the holidays. You probably didn't, and it's okay if you didn't. No problem. So let me see where I wanted to go from there. So I have not completed my products. Okay. You forgot. Oh, oh, okay. To link it. Yeah, absolutely. Definitely, for sure. You want to definitely do that and put that link in there. Absolutely. Okay. No worries. So that's a kind of a good place to sort of start and pause a little bit. And I wanted to shift back to, I had a lot of questions lately about sort of how to package what we know in terms of an offering. And I talked a little bit about, like I gave the course of the training course that I had built many years ago for my company that I still sell. And what just happened recently is this was in October. So we do management. I do monthly management training. Oh, okay. No worries. Okay. Thank you, Ben. Carry on. Oh, that's right. We're like 12 hours ahead. Yeah, Ben is 12 hours ahead. Oh, right. So it's 7 a.m. there. So yeah, with our managers at our organization, Tim just kicked me out. What does that mean? Governance? You mean time? Oh, you tapped yourself out of the room? Oh, TikTok kicked you out? Like out of the room? Or out of the platform? You're still a moderator, right? Are you still a moderator, governance? That's my cousin, y'all. Okay, it still says moderator. You might have tapped out of the room because that happens a lot. And yeah, governess is my moderator. She's also my cousin. Out the whole app. Oh, that's different. Okay, I don't know then. I don't know, cuz what that is. I was gonna say, cuz all of us that are always on the platform running the streets, you'll get to tapping and you'll end up swiping out of the room and end up in someone else's room. Okay, well, glad you're back. So I talked about, like I said, building this training course. So back in October, so we do trainings every year, and I like flesh out what the curriculum is going to be. Like, what are we're going to train these managers on this year? What do we want them to work on? And so we got to October, November time. And so we're doing debriefs with them. And so, it's always interesting. I go into these debrief sessions, I'm thinking I'm going to hear one set of feedback, and then I hear something else. And one guy's like, this agency has not trained me to be a good manager. I was like, oh my God. I said, okay. And, I always, I take feedback for what it is. And I also try to, make them teachable moments too. And so I said to him, I said, okay, so why do you say that? And basically he was having to terminate someone, and he didn't want to say the words. He wanted HR to say the words and have that conversation. And so I was like, this isn't how this works. Like, your employee doesn't work for me, doesn't work in HR. So you have to have the conversation. We're there in the room with them to support them. But after talking with him afterwards for a long time, I learned that, okay, there's a lot that he doesn't know. And so we did a debrief session with all the managers and realized that there's a lot many of them don't know. So the course that I had built at another organization is really too advanced for the managers here. So I had to build like the prerequisite, the course before the course. And so I just fleshed that out and finished that right before the holidays. And it's training, and it's individual and group coaching we have 75 managers. That's a lot of people. But here is something that I built for work, but it's also something that I can take and market to my private and coaching clients too. Yes, girl. And it will be like this person, he will probably need more individual coaching. So there'll be group trainings. I'll do some group coaching in each session, but then there will be some folks that I'll need to spend more time with doing one-on-one. And so, I'm thinking about now, like, I need to figure out how much I'm going to charge for that. Because, in the private world, that price point is very different, than my company. So I'm thinking about that. So again, here's some knowledge, here's an expertise that I have that I can package. I can do it for work. So even think about that. Like, what things do you do at work that you could also do for other people outside of your job and other companies? And sort of like the two places I've talked about for people, like if you're on the business side of things, LinkedIn, Dr. Evil $1 million. Listen, I got, what did I say? 2026 is intentional abundance, and I am seeking it and going after it. Oh, Nikki, you might not have been here when I said that I am doing a little bit of a shift on my page, and that I'm going to start weaving in shoppables also. And did all the research. I started creating my backup account, which I still have, and I'm going to keep that as a backup in case, this one ever gets hacked or something. But found a lot of creators that basically said you don't need 2 pages, that you can do both. It may take the algorithm a week or two to kind of catch up and figure out what it is you're doing. But that it doesn't necessarily, it's not like, professional, can't say certain words. It's not DEATH. Yeah. So I'm going to start doing some content tomorrow and over the weekend of sort of a reintroduction. Okay. You were. Okay. Yeah. Oh, that's right. You sure were, Nikki. Listen, and I got your list and I started going down the rabbit hole. Then, of course, our assistant was helping too. Yeah, so I'm excited to kind of do that. And interestingly enough, like a lot of content I saw today, and I know AI, algorithm, but I also feel like there's some woo-woo out there in the world too. Because I was thinking about this, and how about all the content that I saw, at least today, I think 4 different big creators basically saying that they were going to start doing something different on their page. Like, one does a lot of education on just all things TikTok, and particularly TikTok Shop, that said that now she's also, like, when some of her lives are now going to be like 1 or 2 days a week, they may be engagement lives. And so just really mixing it all up. And part of it is just elevating in different ways, because as we all know, the engagement rooms make a lot of money on the platform. Yeah, when you think about like who makes the most money on this platform, and I mean, taking out like live pros, you've got your engagement rooms and your battlers. So if you're not battling, I mean, in order, if you're not battling all the time, which requires a huge supportive community, if you're not battling, it's the engagement rooms. Like I've walked in, I mean, there's some that I go into, and there's hundreds of people in the room, and gifts are flying all over the page, But if you're truly just teaching, the gifts don't fly as much. And it isn't solely about the gifts, but I mean, we're on the platform to monetize. So yes, I'm just seeing different creators that all talked about today, 4 different pieces of content that they're starting to just shake it up a bit. So I was like, okay, I felt okay sort of with that and doing this, because I love to do the shoppables, and I shop, y'all. I mean, I'm a shopper. When I just look, I have a basket right here of like all the things I'm going to do Nikki, I'm going to do my first shoppable live on Saturday. So this should be interesting. I'm going to be studying all day tomorrow, to sort of figure it out. Okay. So I like different rooms for different things. So, of course, Mish Stories. That's my homeroom, as I call it. And for me, Mish teaches in a way that I learn, in the way that I learn best, which is one thing I like about her. I've done a couple consultations with her too, and gave me like just the insight that I need. I did 2 different consultations with her. I did the first one on my content when I first got started, because I was trying to be faceless, and she's like, how do you sell a reset and transformation being faceless? Hi, Inspiration Week. Welcome in. Thank you for the heartbeat. She said, you can't be faceless. And she said, and you have so much personality, like you're doing yourself a disservice trying to be faceless. So so that was sort of that. And then, thank you, Nikki. See your face too. Are you back going live? I don't think I've seen your live button on in a while. And then I had a consultation with her when I was about to go live, just really understanding like how to do a live structure. Okay, how to do a live structure and how to figure that out. But for shoppables, lately I've been going to Boss Bag CEO's room. So she does shoppables a lot, and lots of tips and just education on how to really do that successfully. So I've been going there a lot. And Miss Matthew, so I'm a recruit. I'm one of her recruits for GQ, Miss Matthew. So she's on the West Coast. So he always wants to battle. He's got one person in his room. What? Decline. But yeah, and she's one person who does it all on one account. So she's a teacher, so she has teacher content. Oh, you like Miss Matthew? Yeah, she does her teacher content. She does tons of shoppables. She's a huge, seller on the platform. And she does her 7-second trends, and she does everything on her one page. And so she was the first person I reached out to when I had this brainstorm. I was texting with her, and she basically said, yes, you can do it all. You've already built a community. You don't want to lose that. There he goes again. What is it? Let me just put him on Do Not Disturb for a minute. Thank you for the roses. Inspiration Week. But yeah, so she was the one said that, it's fine to add in shoppables. It may take the algorithm a week or 2 to catch up and understand what it is you're doing. So you may see, a bit of a dip in views. But then she also told me something that I know that I need to be posting more. And then the same thing like that creator assistant said to me too, like your followers have dipped, and, engaging with your content. But like at one point I was doing 3 to 5 pieces a day, and I'm lucky now if I'm only doing 1. So it wasn't anything shocking, but I know that I need to get better with that too. I batch. For me, batching is like a lifesaver, and who I listen to and I learned a lot too is Aaliyah Rose, Nikki. So going into her room, she goes live at the same time that I do at 7. So I didn't come on live yesterday, so I was actually in her room. But yeah, she batches a lot, and she tells you all the time, get 5 shirts when you got 2 or 3 hours and, crank out 25 pieces of content. And, for those, you don't batch Inspiration. Oh yeah, you need to start. Yeah, and if you all have not been introduced to Inspiration Wink and her crown movement, she is an amazing creator on the platform. I spend time in her room too, Nikki. She's a Christian woman, and she crowns women all over the world, which is amazing. I want to do more too with that Inspiration Week. I know I sponsored a few, but I definitely want to do more sponsorships with that in 2026. But it's amazing, so definitely connect with her. She's an amazing person to just know and spend time with here on the platform. But yeah, no, I'm gonna start batching. And for me, the weekends, because I don't work, my 9 to 5 is, yeah, when I do it, I batch on the weekends. And it's so, oh God. And then, if you got more than 10,000 followers, you can just schedule them. So they're already queued up. They're already set to go out. You don't have to do anything. When they land, you add them to your story, and that's pretty much it. So yeah, I'm gonna do my first few shoppables too over the weekend, because I got product here for days, because I can't stay out of that TikTok shop. Yeah, so try it this weekend, Nikki. It's almost the weekend. Try to at least batch a few. Yeah, when I try to at least do 15, and it takes about 3 to 4 hours, depending, like editing, say 3 hours of filming, and maybe 2.5 of filming, and an hour and a half or so of editing. I know, right? Because I got a bunch of products here, and they're things that I use and love, because someone will recommend something, I'll try it, and I'm like, oh my God, I love this stuff. So yeah, try it this weekend. Yeah, we'll make a pact to try to do that. I'm definitely going to do that. But definitely, if I'm going to try to be doing shoppables plus my regular content, batch, yeah, I would lose my mind if I didn't batch. So I'm going to spend a lot of time doing that this weekend. Yeah, and just trying to get my algorithm to shift to this new sort of world. I think I may change my name a little bit on the platform, but definitely massage my bio a bit. So yeah, working on all of that and just continuing to elevate. And I saw your content Inspiration, I don't know if she's still here, but she had to put out she was one of the creators I talked about that put out a piece of content today on elevating. And then right after that, I saw another creator talked about doing a little bit of shifting, a little bit of, what their lives are going to be like. And that's really just about, monetizing, I may add in life. And what I'm thinking about is career and life reset, because that's sort of so much I talk about the life part. So yeah, so I got to figure it out. It won't be too much of a change. It's still going to be Rhonda, and career will still be first. It's the ending. I'm trying to figure out what's the best way to kind of do that. And that assistant we pay isn't really being too helpful these days. So I may have to look at their cousin. Their cousin Claude is a better wordsmith than Chatty. Oh, okay, governess. Look at you. Look, you're trying to be your own. You're trying to be your own Chatty over here. I like that. Yeah, so I'm trying to figure it out. Yeah, so I don't want to drop the career part. So that's sort of the challenge. I have until the 11th, because I can't change my name. We can only change our name every 7 days. And I put an emoji or something on it last week. So anyway, I'll figure it out between now and Sunday. I think Sunday's the 11th. To figure that out, to really mirror the two, what I want to do. Yeah, just about expanding and just continuing to grow. Yeah, so it'll just be an interesting world. And even with lives, Nikki, I'm definitely I'm going to come up with a schedule. I think I'm only going to do Tuesdays and Thursdays, weekdays. Hey, Nisa, welcome in. Thank you for the heart, me. And probably do Saturdays and Sundays. I was doing Monday through Thursday at 7 p.m. And after, I work, first of all, I'm up super early, because I just am. I'm up at like 4:30, 5 o'clock. I work till 5. Then prepping for lives, it just was it was way too much. So yeah, I think I'm just gonna do Tuesday, Thursdays lives, and Saturdays will probably be a shoppable. Sunday will probably be something fun, like we did vision boards. I'm thinking it'll be some sort of life resetting sort of activity, though, not just me talking and teaching. So And I think I may start occasionally on a Friday, maybe wanting to try to begin to build a battle community, because realistically that's another way to monetize on the platform. And Fridays, like, there isn't much. I've noticed this too, even with content, like my views are always super low on Friday. I don't think it's just to pop in place, but they're battling every day, all day. Yeah, so and then I spend, when I do battle a lot, I play with Pretty Boy Ali, and so a lot. So I'm gonna go in there maybe tomorrow and like announce to the family, hey, I'm building a battle community, so some of my friends in there can come to support, and maybe Fridays, maybe come on for an hour or so, just to sort of do that, to build that battle community, but also to monetize. I mean, that's just sort of real life. I love to battle. Today is battle day in Misha's class. We battled this morning, but in the morning, like, everybody's asleep. Ain't nobody battling. Yeah, but she won't start battling until like 9:30. So I got plenty of time, but no, I'm almost done wrapping it up, because I'm still just not feeling that great. It's just like, and my granddaughter, she is running around. She's 4, who made us all sick and like took us all down. But she is 4. Like 2 days later, she was climbing the wall. She was doing all the things. And, we were all in bed for like a week. I know it is. This one has just been a rough one. And for me, the nights are like the worst. Like, I'm kind of okay at night. It's like the minute during the day, when I lay down, though, I'm coughing. All kind of things are still coming up, and I'm like, what is going on? And then I got a flu shot the other day, which I thought it might have been too late, but I went to my rheumatologist, and she said, did you get the flu shot? And I was like, no, but it's like January. Is it too late? And she's like, yeah, no. She said all kind of crazy things are going around New York, so I did that. So that had me still not feeling too great. Yeah, so, oh wait, where am I at with my clock? Because Nikki, GQ gave me you need to spend more time on lives. But, I've been doing, Nikki, so I started back the overnight lives. And I think I know why the person I was talking about had got the restriction. Oh, yeah, it has been a tough year for Cole. And I know you're in the school, so those little germ catchers are running all around. But yeah, so they've been fine. Like, I haven't had any issues. But I believe what happened with the creator I had shared who got a restriction was that, so you can't have a green screen up in the panels. So I think they were up on a panel, and then, they got quiet. So then the green screen and the panel went quiet. And so TikTok's like, wait, you're in a full live. You're not just in the voice chat. So that, I think, was the difference. Because even Inspiration Week, I think she left, but she's just been doing them for months and never had an issue. And so I started back. And honestly, I mean, GQ can't complain about my time anymore. Because I turn it on like 10:30, and I may turn it off at like 4:30 in the morning when I wake up. So I'm definitely meeting hours, and folks come in, that you can't really see. And as we all grow too, as creators, we can't get to as many rooms as, we used to. And so it's a good way. And I do the same thing. Like, before I go turn mine on, I'll go down the line and go into rooms and give my heart me to folks. And even if I can't stay long, if I have, maybe give a few populars or, whatever I have to give, to support other people at that time. And then I go into my room, and the reciprocation sort of happens. So, you're not gonna, well, like for me anyway, as a new creator, I'm not gonna get rich with the overnights, but hey, I get my watch time up with GQ, so they can't complain about my hours. And hey, I collect a few diamonds. So yeah, it's been working. And I think you have too, Nikki. I know I popped in your room a few times. So yeah, I'm back doing the overnights, and they seem to be working just fine. So yes, I am going to come back on Saturday and probably do a little bit of creator, each one teach one, while I'm doing my first shoppable live. So that will be fun and interesting and probably entertaining. But I got so many products here. I'm like, I'm ready. I got all the things. I definitely have all of the things to to be ready to do that. So I am super excited about that. I'm just checking stats. We've had 118 people come in and out of the room. So that is a wonderful stats. And we're just under an hour, but that is okay. I think it probably just clicked over to an hour. Oh yeah, it's at 59 minutes. Yeah, just clicked over to an hour. Wait, who's that? Excellent. What time? Probably early. I'm thinking like 10. I'm thinking I'm gonna like get my coffee, so it'll be like a morning QVC. Yeah. So yeah, if you can pop in and definitely give me feedback, because it'll be my first time. And there's a couple other creators that I know that do them a lot. So I'm telling them too, hey, just pop in and, give me some feedback. If you can pop in for a little while and just, watch and learn and pray I don't get a V. Because I have heard a lot more about, you probably got that email too from GQ about, I guess the algorithm being more sensitive with restrictions when you're doing a shoppable. And I think it's people that are like redirecting as well as when they have items in their shopping cart. So like, because I knew today I was going to talk about digital products and I might reference links outside, I turned on my disclosure and didn't add anything. Yeah, didn't add anything into my shopping cart. But yes, I'm going to make some content. And yes, so yeah, probably Saturday at 10. Partly too because Misha's super fan is at 12 and I need some coaching. I know, exactly. So I got to talk to Miss Matthew about that too, because I know that there are creator networks that help with shoppables, but I don't know how that works in the platform because like we can only select one, it looks like, but maybe we can add a second. But I do know that there are creator networks that just work, for the shop. So I need to kind of figure out that. And, hey, if it happens, like I'm fine with just making shop content. I just want to try it. Like I throw things in my cart, normally. Well, at least I haven't lately, only because I know I'm talking about other products and referencing my own link and stuff. But, Empire. Okay, that is one I heard about. Okay, I did. Yep, I heard about that one. Yeah, that does that. And so, yeah, I don't understand. I got to ask Miss Matthew. I don't understand how that works. Like, do they split? Like, how does even the system and how does TikTok know who to pay what? Like, is it, Nikki. So when you're doing a shoppable live, like you don't set it up any different, right? On the back end when you go in to go live, because you're just still adding I know when you do and the reason I'm asking, how like if you create a live event, you can say this is a shoppable event. So okay, yeah, okay, I didn't think so. No, you just add it to your cart. Okay. Yeah, so like I don't know how would TikTok know, because remember they get paid from, the share, the 50% that they take. So how would they know like how much to pay Empire versus how much to pay GQ? So I don't know how that works, but I'm sure it's an algorithm. I'm sure they got some computer system to figure it out. But yeah, I'm going to look into that. So yeah, Saturday it is. So looking forward to doing that. Hopefully folks have thought about and going to do some homework on those digital products. And I'm definitely going to continue making content about that because I did. And getting a lot of interesting and engaging questions, which is good. So people are starting to think and move in that direction. Well, that is all I think for me for tonight. Thank you all for hanging out, for everything you've done in the room, the TAPSs, the gifting and support and all of that. And hope I say this at the end of all my lives. Hope I've given you something to think about, inspired some action so that we can continue to keep moving and elevating in this year of intentional abundance for 2026. Thank you, Nikki, for hanging out. I appreciate you. And I will see you all soon. See you in the TikTok streets because y'all know I be running these streets.